Why, hello there, everybody, and welcome back to Misscliks D&D Seaborn. You have three corpses, a wyvern head, I take it you've hacked off just the
Yeah.
bit at the end of the wyvern tail,
Yes.
and Algrind. So that's a lot of things to carry back to town.
We put together as I've been in combat before, I know how to kind of rig a little, medic sled or something like that I can hold. Plus, I guess I'm not enlarged anymore, right?
I don't know what its duration is.
What's its duration,
I think
Trump?
duration 4 minutes.
Yeah, so probably not.
Okay.
So then I make a sled and kind of pile the three bodies on it, and I can drag that. Maybe with somebody else.
All right. That'll work.
Oops, I meant 20 minutes.
Fantastic. Algrind has some rope on him that you can use to fashion the sled. And off you guys go. You make it back to Pine Spur a little bit later, not too terribly much longer. And as you walk into the nice
and
log
we
cabin,
take these mercenaries' weapons also.
Yeah, and I hide the poison. I'm not taking the poison to show the town. The poison's ours.
well,
Oh,
the poison's in a tail, right?
Weapons,
It's like
we keep them in their holsters, I suppose.
the,
Or we can take them. Yeah.
I ask that we remove a tooth each for memorabilia and to show off in case of need.
And I pick up my spears that I threw.
good
And
call.
I pick up my arrows that I threw.
Uh,
Seeing Maribel do this. So I get half, I guess. I'm kind of running out of them. I have like 6 left.
You can buy some more.
Yeah, I'd like to buy some more at the village.
You hit the wyvern 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can recover 2 of the 3 that hit him. The other one is broken, and the other ones that missed just like gone forever.
So we wyvern tooth, corpses. Bruno, do you have detect magic?
Not today.
Oh, because I feel like we should have detected magic on these guys in case there's something we missed.
Okay.
Well, nope, they don't have anything magical.
Okay.
Sure, I believe you. You're such a great detect magic wizard.
It's the bardic intuition in me.
Bruno knows what's up.
Look at these people. Do you think they had magic? They went headfirst into a wyvern. They have no idea what they're doing.
You're right. You're right.
Okay. So you make it back to town. These bodies on some sleds. As you come in, and people see the wyvern head probably resting on the bodies or on the sled in front of the bodies or something like that. Everyone makes like a big, they give you a lot of room. They scoot to the sides of the street and watch. Some people in silence and awe, other people in cheers and shouts. A couple of people throw whatever they have in their hands. Someone's got a flower seller tosses a few flowers towards you. Someone who's got some bread cheers and tosses the bread towards you. It's a little awkward, but they celebrate in the ways they can.
Bread.
Lots of baguettes.
And we're like dragging the corpses behind us as well, right?
Yes.
So we have like the wyvern and the corpses.
Yes. So, what's the plan? Are you taking the poison to the apothecary first? Or are you taking the head to the wizard first?
The head.
I do the poison, no?
We should get the big thing out of the way first.
What if it runs out of time and the poison turns bad after a while?
Did the apothecary say that would happen?
I don't remember, honestly, so I wouldn't take the risk.
She did not.
Like, how far of a detour is it to bring the tail?
20 minutes?
I do it. It's not like it's gonna take half a day. It's like...
That's fine. You can actually just run and do that while
I'll
we
do
continue
it.
dragging it.
You guys just take care of the bodies, like make
Yeah.
sure they get like funeraled and shit, and that people see the foam, so that people get blamed. As I go out to the apothecary with the tail, I look at them and I'm like,
As we walk by, I'm like, you see their mouths are covered in foam. You see there is foam.
Someone points to what's her name, who I can never remember, Galdria, who's like literally missing a head and an arm and like this part of her upper torso, and goes, yeah, wyvern.
Yes, foam.
Foam, yeah, wyvern.
I bring the tail to the apothecary.
All right, Albert, you bring it in. The apothecary is, well, short, rounded woman, middle-aged. She sees you coming in and goes, oh, dearie, have you brought it for me?
Yes, I did. See, it all worked out. You did good trusting us. Good deal.
Excellent. It will take me some time to properly drain the poison from the stinger here and split it. Remember, 50-50.
Yes.
Yes, 50-50.
Wait, wasn't it 60-40 for us? It was 60-40 for us.
I seem to recall a 50-50 split.
Unless you're lying, it was 60-40.
I see. I noted it on my mental notepad, and I have quite a good memory.
Well, fine, 60-40. Whatever.
All right.
Come back sun up tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yes.
Sounds
And
good.
she takes the stinger and goes into the back and asks you to turn the sign on the front window as you leave to closed.
All right. See you later.
All right. The rest of the party makes their way to the keep at the center of town. The large stone building that used to serve as the castle for the Kingdom of Gade until it was conquered, and now it's the Baron's home. You make your way in. You make your way up to the gates, and the guards are standing there, halberds crossed, blocking the way. They see the head, they see the corpses, they see you guys, and they don't bother saying anything. They just pull back their halberds, push open the doors, and one of them leads you in.
When they do that, I nod at them like superiorly, like, yes, you know I am the accomplished warrior.
All right. The two of you make your way into this chamber. Albert running, hoping to catch up with you, but it might be a little bit before he gets there. The guards have you wait in the main audience hall while they summon the appropriate parties. So you have
Did we meet up with the assistant, the apprentice?
Saffron has not shown up yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is interesting to note because she's been gone 3 days now. It's not that long to get there, back to the coast and back.
Uh-oh. Rip Saffron.
Saffron AFK, noted.
So we walk into the audience chamber, right?
Yes. The audience chamber is empty for the moment. So the two of you are alone for a few minutes while they summon the appropriate parties.
Right when we walked through the door, I was like, behold! And then there was no one there, and I was like, oh.
We should exit and come back in when there's people. I feel like we need a crowd for this. This should be official.
Exit
the room for more people to come in so she can say behold.
Unfortunately, Albert, you won't get there while they get there in time yet.
Okay.
So
I look for Saffron. I ask for Saffron while on my way back.
People have no idea. Most of them have never heard of Saffron before. Probably, in fact, none of them have ever heard of her before.
Not even at the inn where we were staying? Even if I drop out there?
You swing by the inn? Nope, haven't seen her. They know who you're talking about, but they don't know who she is.
She's not been back?
Mm-mm.
Alright, thanks.
Okay. Anyway, you come into this large audience chamber. You wait, and eventually, showing up before you is Ark Barthas, the court wizard of Pinespur.
As soon as he walks in, I go, behold!
He pauses, a little startled by your exclamation, and goes, yes!
The head of the wyvern.
Yes.
I gesture on the other side and a grand gesture as well.
Behold!
The 6'7", very thin man walks down and inspects the head. He sniffs it, pokes it a little bit, takes the butt of his staff, which is this like 5-foot-long thing that has a desiccated claw at one end of it that's holding a crystal ball of sorts, and like pokes it in the mouth and whaps the head a few times.
Hey
And
now,
nods
this
approvingly.
is a great trophy. Don't ruin it.
Good thing we took out some of the teeth. That's memorabilia.
Excellent, excellent. And I presume these others are dead.
Deceased.
Dead. They were a bit careless.
Unfortunately,
Rest
but
their
they
souls.
deserve a hero's burial.
Well, I'm sure you will see to that appropriately.
Yes.
Perhaps you could direct us to their next of kin.
I have no idea.
Or what?
Do you know what they called themselves? The something of something? You might be able to find their kin that way.
The spikes of the windows or something like that?
Something like that, yes. Go.
I thought it was Spines of the Widows.
Definitely
That might
now.
have been it.
Anywho, I presume you'd be wanting your coral sword.
Indeed.
He looks at the two of you. You don't seem the type for pomp and circumstance.
Or what?
No,
I mean-
not circumstance. Pomp and ceremony.
If you would like to throw a ceremony.
Character, I don't know what the
I glance at Maribel. Actually, I kind of am. Are you?
Whatever you prefer, as long as I get the sword.
Oh, he's saying like a ceremony with like a feast and stuff.
Yeah.
What is pomp and circumstance?
Yeah.
Actually, as a point of fact, Bruno here is an accomplished bongo player, and it would be a treat for your town to hear him play.
It's a song? Have I been using that phrase wrong my entire life? I thought that was
What?
pomp and circumstance.
That is a song.
That is a song, yeah. My
Is
graduation.
it not also an
song.
idiom? Oh, it is. Okay, it's also an idiom meaning formal ceremony. Okay, whew.
Yep.
Freaked myself out for a moment. You would like we could do a sword presentation ceremony. We'll call it tomorrow morning. It's late.
As you wish.
You can leave the head here. It'll make for a nice decoration.
Will you inscribe our names upon the plaque upon which it is mounted?
I wasn't planning on mounting it on a plaque.
What were you going to do with it?
I don't know. Give it to someone to burn?
What you just said you'd use it for decoration.
For art.
Don't you think that such
Yeah.
a wonderful specimen would do well to hang on your keep?
Until it begins to rot, but maybe that will be fun. Don't worry about our plans with this thing. The important part is that this beast is dead. Thank you. We will have a more formal ceremony and sword presentation tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Enjoy your time here.
Are there any witnesses here?
No.
Is it only him? I say, I would rather you present the sword to us now, and then we have a celebration tomorrow.
So be it. Wait here. I will go get it for you.
Thank you.
All right. So while he is off fetching the sword, Albert shows back up, makes his way through the guards, gets to the center of the keep where you guys are in the audience chamber.
As Albert approaches, I turn to Maribel and say, "What? We should have gotten the sword at the ceremony.
Where's the
This is
guy?
how these things are done."
There were no witnesses. He could have just said that we never killed the wyvern.
Oh, this whole town knows we killed the wyvern. It would be
That's
okay.
true.
What's going on here? Where's the dude? Where's the sword? What's going on?
Oh, he's coming. He's going to go get the sword.
Are
I get
you
a-
worries? You do know that Saffron's not there, right?
I did get
where?
a creepy feeling from this guy.
Shouldn't we just wait to be in a public space before being confined with this guy?
Well, we are all here, and he is but one person. That's why I wanted the sword now and the ceremony tomorrow.
At about this point, he shows back up. He has holding in one hand, he's got this coral sword, and tucked under his arm, he has a rather fat book. He comes up and hands it directly to Maribel and says, "Here it is.
What's
It'll
on the book?
you can't see, it's tucked under his arm. There's
Oh.
robes hanging over it. You can't make out a title, but it's a big fat book.
Does the sword look exactly like the one we saw before?
Absolutely. You pull it from its sheath. It's got the pale yellow blade with kind of darker polyps over it, attached to a purple and violet hilt. It stands out. It's very bright, and it looks quite sharp.
Awesome. I say thank you. It has been our honor to serve.
Yes, yes. I presume you'll have to be here before the ceremony to give me the sword back to present it to you properly.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose.
Well, we'll see you before then. Good day, adventurers.
Good day.
And
Good day.
enjoy your time here before you head back to the Shallow Sea, was it?
The Spice Islands.
Yes, the Spice Islands.
Yeah, it will be a long trip. Well, not that long. I just need some rest, really.
A long trip. It should be rather short, since we're taking the shortcut and all that.
What shortcut did you say it was?
The
By air.
teleportation.
By air we went.
By air?
It's all
It's
How do you
difficult to
say it in
explain.
English? It's all a metaphor. They don't really get magic as well as you and I.
I see.
I tried to explain it to them in different ways so that they can grasp the concept, really.
The plebs will never quite understand our ways.
Moo.
Moo
Will they
indeed.
ever?
Well spoken. And
Well,
he
good day to you.
he nods
Good
and
day.
exits. You now have 3 corpses plus an unconscious Algrind as you step back out into the evening air of Pine Spur.
I'm very pleased with myself.
Today was a good day.
We should look for Saffron.
We should indeed look for Saffron, and we should look at the clock to know when the mermaids will be back.
Well, we waited there for 3 days, I believe.
This would be the
So
third
that
day.
would mean the mermaids should be there in 4 days.
Yeah, we asked for a week, correct?
Yeah. 7
So
days.
should we go to the beach where Saffron was supposed to find the mermaids and see if
Yeah.
we can track her?
But you can't get there today and still be back in time for the ceremony tomorrow.
What we should do is let the town treat us like heroes for a night. Let's go to the tavern where we were staying, and Saffron might appear, because we're kind of a big deal.
A fine idea.
Alright, sounds good.
All right. You make your way back to Gade's place. And
I'll sleep in Saffron's room. I say with the same smile that I did the last time I did something creepy.
I ignore you.
Gade's place is bustling with people, and as you come in, a cheer goes up through the crowd, and everyone comes over to clap you on the shoulder and start asking all sorts of questions about the Wyvern battle. How'd you do it? What'd you do? Describe every detail for me.
When I describe every detail, I describe every detail. The cut which my blade made was approximately 5 inches deep. It spanned the tail, which I would estimate to be about 24 inches in diameter at that point. And I used a good 15 pounds of force with that first hit, although, just like exactly detailing the battle and droning on and on.
To those who would listen to me, I kind of clasp Albert on the shoulder and I say, we trapped the wyvern and we shot it multiple times. I, of course, landed both the first shot and the last.
Excuse me, your shot arrived on the dead corpse of the wyvern, which I hit in the neck twice while doing my famous technique.
Who's to say if that last shot was not the finishing blow? None of us are keeping track, but the point is, it was a glorious battle.
It is basically like a well-known technique that you can do in dead corpses in FPS games.
People start imitating you and like trying to do what you're doing.
Nice.
I describe how I took the arrows out to like shoot it in the neck. I did the best shot of my entire life on that wyvern. The double crit, I call it.
All right. The night proceeds very pleasantly, and eventually everyone settles down for bed. We can just move on to the next day, I think, unless
Yeah.
there's anything you guys want to do that night.
Nope.
Nope.
I sleep in the room of Saffron.
I think Maribel probably gets a little drunk because everyone's buying her drinks, so she sleeps very soundly.
Albert, what are you doing in Saffron's room?
I'm gonna look through her stuff to see if there's any signs of anything, and I will just be there if she shows up home.
No, she doesn't have any stuff with her.
Oh. Well, I'm still in her room. I'm gonna wait in case she comes back to her room.
Sure.
Well, sleep there, but yeah.
All right. The next morning, you guys wake up. When you come downstairs from your rooms, there is a lot of talk in the common room, the small common room here. It's just enough room for people to have breakfast, pretty much, or dinner. And everyone is talking about the ceremony that will be going on today. It seems that the ceremony is set for high noon.
Oh, then I'm gonna go before that to the apothecary, get the extract.
Perfect. She presents you with... Ooh, how do you... 60-40 was a bad way of splitting, because it doesn't split out evenly. No, it does. She presents you with 3 vials of a dark red sticky substance.
Okay.
And says, this here is quite the potent poison, you see. You must be very careful. One of these vials could easily coat a blade or a clutch of arrows, which is how this poison is meant to be used. It should be injected into your enemies via a stabbing mechanism. If you were to feed it to someone, if they were to drink it or eat it, it might still function, but at a reduced potency.
So
Simply smearing it on the skin does nothing, but I wouldn't do that. You might have some small cuts you're unaware of, and before you know it, poison.
So let's say you were to kill a dragon based on that wyvern blood. Since I love those theory crafting moments, you would recommend actually stabbing the dragon with the poison rather than feeding something to the dragon.
Maybe if you used all 3 vials at once to feed the dragon, that might go well.
It might be better, yeah.
Yes.
It
Double
might
the
go
dosage might compensate for the reduced potency. Triple the dosage and you should definitely be fine with that reduced potency.
I have no idea if wyvern poison can work on dragons, so I feel like it should.
A question, dearie.
Mhm.
This is not the first time you've mentioned a dragon, and I have grown somewhat suspicious here. Which dragon is it that you plan on poisoning? I think what you've been playing at as a game is not really a game.
Oh, I like where your mind's at. I feel like I should know more about you in exchange for this information of mine.
Well, my life is an open book. I live here in Pinespur. I dabble in this and that. I help people with their aches and pains and help them to forget the things they'd rather forget, or help them heal up when they're in need. I'm a simple apothecary.
But curious.
Ask away.
Have you ever known of any dragons around here?
Mm,
If you were to take a wild guess, which dragon would you think I'm trying to get at?
I can't imagine anyone would be foolish enough to go up against a dragon, but Scoria would be the one, I presume.
What do you know of Scoria?
She lives in Mistrea. Lives is maybe the wrong word. She owns Mistrea, has subjugated their entire kingdom. and spends most of her time attempting to burn down the forest of the elves. Most definitely the most dangerous and troublesome dragon we have today. The closest dragon would probably be Hydroxys, or maybe Urian. Their exact lairs are uncertain, but they live quite nearby. I can't imagine you would be looking after them, though. They're fairly peaceful creatures. So, tell me, who is it that you seek?
While Scoria could have been tempting, I'm looking at another dragon from another part of the world.
Yes, I know. That's why I'm asking.
Hmm.
Come now, don't leave me hanging.
A red dragon. I don't think the name is relevant.
I think the name is quite relevant, for there's only one dragon in Arcadia, and that is Scoria.
I'm looking at outside Arcadia. That's why.
Ah, interesting. Well, you elves certainly are a mysterious lot. Will you be staying long in Gade?
I'm not sure. We might be headed towards the dragon's area once again.
And would that be in which direction?
Towards. Let me look at my notes. I just want to give him the general. Oh, we are in Arcadia, right, Neil?
Yes, we are in Arcadia.
So he just doesn't know that there's another dragon.
Yes.
So, like, from here, because I don't know the lands very well, like, from where we are to the direction where we come from, like, where the red dragon is.
Southeast.
Southeast. So I'm going to say southeast from here.
Hmm.
Very, very southeast.
I see. Well, good luck. You wouldn't say that the dragon's on Minataria, would you?
A what?
On Minataria? The island of the Minotaur?
Well, that would be a plausible explanation. I wink at her because you did see my Minotaur friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would seem plausible.
Well. Thank you very much for your patronage, and thank you for this.
Can I ask you one question before I leave?
You may ask.
What's his name? The sword guy. I'm sorry.
The sword guy.
Barthas.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Barthas.
Yes.
How long has he been around here?
Born and raised in Pine Spur, that man is. I think he's in his 30s now.
Have you seen him coming and going alongside a lady? Damn it, what's her name?
No. Barthas rarely leaves the keep, actually. You know wizards, they spend all their time in study and preparation and working on the arcane. He rarely ventures out.
Alright.
But I don't presume I've seen him with anyone.
You didn't have any interactions with him lately? You don't get to interact with such people, do you?
No.
Do you? You don't. Yeah, I'm just very curious about that man, how he became a wizard, inherited this big sword.
Oh, it's not his sword. It's the Baron's.
Alright. Because he did seem to have this big book he's been carrying around, and I was curious about that. I'm a big fan of books.
You know wizards and their books.
Alright. Thank you.
Okay. The party gathers together again in preparation for this ceremony.
Yes, we should head there early to make sure that we're standing in the right places and that we give him the sword.
Excellent. All right, so you guys go in. You get shown to the appropriate place. You've got this big entrance hall or gathering hall. What's it called? Great hall. You've got a great hall. At the very back of it is where the dais is set up with the throne that looks very much like a king's throne, even though this guy's a baron because this used to be a kingdom, yada, yada, yada. The baron is sitting there. To his left, beside a little table, is a little chair where Barthas sits, and the three of you, are lined up on the other side of the throne. So it goes, party, throne, Barthas in a line. And as you're kind of waiting for everything to start up, you see that Barthas has his nose buried in this book that he is carrying around with him.
Can I see what it is? Is it like...
Give me a perception check, please.
Yep.
Like-
Let's try to notice the title.
check it the first time? 15.
No luck.
I want to know the title.
Can you read, Bruno? Are you literate?
Yes, as a bard, of course I am.
Okay, fantastic. You catch the name of the book. It is called Treatise on the Void.
I knew it! I knew it! When I saw the big book, I knew it! Ah. We should ask for that book instead of the sword. Like,
What?
plot twist it in front of the whole city.
But it's a sword.
But it's the
Oh.
void. It's information.
As they always say, the
Power,
sword is
power.
mightier than the book.
No, the book is mightier than the sword. Knowledge is power.
Is there any way we could take both the sword and the book?
It's easy. You just kill Barthas. No.
No, I should not kill Barthas?
You
Or-
probably shouldn't.
Oh.
Not now, at least.
Well, I suppose I can do quite well without the sword if you really believe we need the book. But weren't we looking for the book? We were looking for the owner of the book. I don't remember why.
we were looking for the book to understand why the portals have.
Right, maybe we could just simply have a nice chat with Barthas after our ceremony. And then we could help each other out.
I know that in a public setting, we could just straight up inquire about this.
Hmm.
We could say that, yeah, we'd love to have the more options than teleportations to get back. If you could avoid saying that we've been through the portal once again.
Of course. Maybe we can trade him the information for the book.
Yeah, maybe we can.
And maybe he knows some more about what's going on.
I wonder if he knows about the Red Dragon.
Probably
There
not.
are two in Arcadia.
That's a surprise.
Well, I'm not sure if Scaria is really one, but I feel like it might be. I found out about this other dragon that's menacing. Could be interesting to put them against each other. Dragon Wars.
Okay. So, comes time for this ceremony. The people file in, trumpets blare, drums are beaten, fires are lit all over the place. Torchlight shines down, and the ceremony begins. The Baron gets up, kind of out of his throne, all creaky, gets to his feet and begins to prattle on about, the problems of this kingdom, and it goes on a little long, and it gets a little kind of deviated. At a certain point, Barthas clears his throat kind of loudly, and the king shakes his head and goes, "Right, and the wyvern! The wyvern has been plaguing our lands for as long as any of us can remember. And while I may be a little forgetful these days, I certainly remember this wyvern being here a long time. These fine adventurers... Yes, these fine 3 adventurers have managed to bring the wyvern to its knees and brought its head to us," he says. And as he does so, a strange smell comes over the entire audience chamber. It smells like death and rotting. A few servants come out with a little, what do you call this, like a little stretcher on top of which has been placed a wyvern head, and they carry it out over their shoulders from one of the back doors. It's clearly been dead for like a day now, and it's starting to rot, and the stench is awful. But the wyvern head gets trotted out, and everyone sees it and, gives an applause.
Yay! I kind of like clasp my hands on Maribel's shoulders and I cast Enlarge on her.
In the middle of the ceremony?
Yeah, this is where we're supposed to be the heroes. So fantastic.
I am
Mar-
kind of surprised by this, so I kind of like have a strangled, confused moo as I'm like, but then I get my wits about me and I just then stand as though nothing happened.
Yeah. A gasp comes over the crowd as the half minotaur goes from 7'1" to 10 feet tall. But after the short gasp, the crowd's reaction turns to joy and cries. Everyone's cheering and applauding,
Hey.
and the Baron takes the sword from the little desk next to him and turns to face you guys and presents it to the three of you while the crowd cheers below.
I walk up and take it.
All right. No switching it out for the book?
I
We
mean,
haven't even. That's a private deal that'll be made later. Maybe.
And well, as after you take the sword, like I don't try to be awkward or interrupt something. When it feels appropriate to speak, I say, "May we sit next to you for this celebratory feast?"
Of course, my young elf. You may sit next to me. And feasting we shall indeed have. And eventually the crowd shuffles out and tables are brought in for, of course, not the entire town, just the nobles in the area get to come and join you guys in a feast.
Yeah, that's what's up.
That's what's up indeed. Okay. We can just skip right into the feast. You guys sit down and there's food brought out for the next 6 hours. Food and wine and ale and just about anything that you could imagine on a dinner table is brought out. The table takes up the length of the Great Hall, and all the noble families from the area are brought in, as well as special formal dignitaries, high priests, the ranger, the sheriff,
Yeah.
Barthas.
I eat tons of like the really nice vegetables, and I'm assuming there's like some fruit and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I eat a ton of it. I
Is
like gorge
Maribel
myself.
a vegetarian?
Yeah, obviously.
There's a lot of good fruit and veggies, and some delicious hummus.
I ate grass before when we were traveling. I just eat grass,
Yes.
but I like fruits and veggies too.
Good.
That's
So what's
mango
your
juice, though.
what's
I
your
had
play
eaten
here,
grass.
guys?
So as we are sitting at the table next to those guys, including Barthas, I assume, I'm gonna say, so, I've noticed that you have this big book you like carrying around with you. What's the deal with this one? Doesn't seem like a spell book to me.
No, just some research I've been doing.
We might be able to help each other with that research.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Care to elaborate?
Well, I didn't catch the name of your book, but if I'm not mistaken, Bruno, you seem to have seen it?
Oh, yes. It has a lot to do with how we got here after all.
You don't say. Teleportation.
I felt like you figured it out a long time ago. You're not a fool. Are you not surprised?
A little.
Think of all the great things we could do with this technology. We could connect our two kingdoms together. We could make travel much easier. What were your plans with this, Barthas?
I'm really open to any suggestions, really. I have no preference, if you know what I mean.
I really don't.
Maybe we should do a more private meeting to discuss this book. It's very elaborate. Not for the common of mortals.
Oh, before we do such a thing, what are you studying this for, Barthas, if this is fine to reveal?
He kind of just stops eating his food and drinking his wine and sits at the table for a moment. Who is seated right next to Barthas? Because it goes Baron at the head of the table, and then Barthas on one side, and then 2 party members across the table and 1 party member next to Barthas. So who wants to sit next to Barthas? Who wants to sit across from him? And who wants to sit corner to him?
I didn't-
cross.
And
I'll
I
sit
didn't.
next to him.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bruno next to him, Albert across from him, Maribel corner to him. So Maribel's next to Albert.
Yeah.
Cool.
Maribel
Okay.
didn't care about sitting next to them at all.
Cool. He kind of taps his book and runs his fingers over it lovingly. It says, there are many things in this world that are difficult to achieve. But to be quite honest, I do not trust you with these sorts of things. It is not the dealings that are for public discussion. You are foreigners here simply for the reward. It would be inappropriate to discuss matters of state with visitors. Come, we are feasting. We should enjoy it.
Maribel nods and chews on a fig.
I find the idea of this kind of warrior-like minotaur who's huge and uses this big halberd and, you know, is happy to hack things to bits, but, you know, meat? No. Just the fruits and veggies, man.
I just don't eat that.
Yeah, Right on.
I'd like to let the meal pass and around dessert time ask him if he wants to go for a quick walk to discuss magic.
Barthas?
Yeah.
Give me a charisma roll.
Oh, I'm so uncharismatic. What about an intelligence
No,
roll?
give me a charisma check.
Wizard. Damn it. Come on, life. Ooh.
Ooh. Oh, you're not uncharismatic. You have average charisma.
Yeah, sure, Neil.
10 is like the... It's half a
worked out.
point lower than dead average. 8 to 13 is average. You have perfectly adequate
I
charisma.
strive for excellence, Neil.
I catch that too. You may have noticed that I cast a spell during our ceremony.
right,
I would be happy to join in
No,
this
I
talk
think
as
this
well.
is a wizard talk.
What? I am also a wizard, please.
No, you're a
Albert.
bard. You play bongos.
They are one and the same. I cast the same spells you can.
Barely.
I even know a thing or
No.
two.
We needn't argue amongst ourselves. I would be happy to retire to the study later today for a discussion on the arcane. Do you think your Minotaur spawn would like to join us?
When he says that, I'm taking a bite of a fig and I look at him like,
You guys don't really
Spawn?
need to be there. I don't think it's gonna interest you.
Forgive me if I offended you, madam. I do not know what your race is called.
yeah, do not worry, human spawn.
Would you care to enlighten me on the proper name of your race?
I am half minotaur and half human, although when I address you, I do not see the need to call you human. Therefore, madam would be perfectly sufficient.
My apologies, madam.
I'll have you know, Barthas, she is part of our book club.
Oh, well then, bring her on. And as the feasting finishes up, Barthas retires with the 3 of you to his study, which is deep within the bowels of the castle.
Albert's like,
The book. Do we have a moment before we retire with him, or are we all going straight up? Like, can we chat together?
Yeah, I mean, you can find some time somewhere between the feast and the part and talking with
Okay.
him.
So I'll tell to the group. So I'll be very honest with you guys. I can see this going 2 ways. Either we go back to our old town and everything is fine and dandy. We feed the dragon. We're good. Or we ally with Barthas if he has a great plan. He seems to have something big in mind, and I feel like going up against it might not be the smartest move. It might seem like the easy move right now, the obvious good person move, but maybe he has something in store for us that's more interesting than going up against him.
Yeah, we should hear him out,
Show
certainly.
him later. We should extend the hand to this guy.
And who knows? Maybe there's a way to get our people through the portal.
Yeah.
All right. Well, eventually you all come to this room, unless you have any further discussions to do. To the library or the study of Ark Barthas the Dimensionalist. But before we do that, why don't we take a break, and we'll come back from the break in a short bit. See you guys in a moment.